Hi guys, my name is Nicole Silverio and I'm here to talk to you about why Girls Who Code counts as a discourse community. Well, to begin with, Girls Who Code is a program that helps young girls get into the field of technology because their main goal is to fill in the gender gap in the field of computer science. So I found out about Girls Who Code through my teacher because I had to do an internship and I was running out of time and I hadn't found one yet, and she sent me an email talking about Girls Who Code, and I thought it was going to be a good opportunity, so I decided to just go with it. But I wasn't super excited because it wasn't like something that I wanted to really do. I didn't really care that much about computers or any of that technology stuff. But then when I got there, they're talking about how we were all going to form a sisterhood and how we were all going to be best friends and have a great time. And I wasn't feeling it, to be honest. I was not, it was not a good time at first. But throughout the program, I actually ended up enjoying myself a lot and I learned a lot and I made some really good friends. And I actually did feel like it was a little bit of a sisterhood. But I'm very grateful for all the stuff that I experienced there. So, the main goal of Girls Who Code, well, every class, the small goals that went on were to teach us how to code. So, we learned code by having a teacher and learning assistants and stuff, and they would write out the programs first, and then we would copy, and then we would try to run the programs. But sometimes we would do peer-to-peer programming, and other times we program in groups or just try to program as a whole class, which sounds kind of crazy, but it actually does work some way, somehow. So we also went on a lot of field trips to learn more about the real world and how, to give us a feel of how it really is to work in this field and how women interact and function in that field. So it was really interesting. We went to a lot of places like Citrix and GE. Now, there are 6 characteristics to describe a discourse community, and you might be asking yourself, what is a discourse community? Well, a discourse community is a community of people that all gather and they talk about things, mainly a goal, but they have a lot of different forms of writing and communication that they use in order to achieve that one goal. So one of the first characteristics of a discourse community is to have a common goal. So the common goal that we had was to learn how to code. The second characteristic is intercommunication. So that's how we talked amongst ourselves in the group. We used text messaging, emails. We would post up papers with announcements and stuff around the room so everyone could read them. But yeah, mostly text messaging and emails. The third characteristic is feedback. And when we wrote our code, one of the main parts of the class was to have feedback at the end. So if we presented our code in a not presented, but if we did our code with a partner or in a group, we would go up to the class and present our code, which sounds really scary, and it is really scary because everyone is watching how you do your code. But they come from a good place. They're trying to help you. They're trying to teach you. They're not really there to knock you down or make you feel bad or anything. So feedback was a big part of our class every day. The fourth characteristic is using one or more of genres of communication. This one goes hand in hand with the second one because we use the different genres of communication to communicate, which is communicating within the group. So the different genres we use were writing emails or using a website to access our work or read the emails or read any announcements that we had in the class. And the fifth characteristic is having a specific lexis. We had our own little vocabulary that we used to kind of describe certain coding concepts, which most of the words have a meaning already in everyday language, but when you use them in that context, it might be hard for an outsider to understand what we were trying to say. So some of the words that we used were functions, parameters, loops, and variables and things like that. But the sixth characteristic is having different levels of expertise. So the program was open to girls from ninth grade to 12th grade. So we had girls from between that grade range and, different age ranges as well. And they all came from different schools, different backgrounds. So it was a lot of diversity, even though it was a big group of women. So it was a good time. And now I'd like to show you some visuals so you guys can see what I was kind of talking about. Some pictures of me engaging in some of the activities that I mentioned. And yeah.